This is BX Subsynth, a highly flexible and fully featured subharmonic synthesizer created by Brainworx. Let's take a look at how we can use this awesome processor in the mix, and remember, you can follow along with anything I'm doing here by going to the Plugin Alliance website and downloading your own fully functional 14-day trial. For this first example, I'm going to be using a really simple 303 style synth pattern to demonstrate the basics of BX Subsynth. Initially, I'll leave the input and output gains at their default value of 0 dB, but we'll be concentrating on the 3 bands in the center. Each one of these represents a different frequency range, but we're going to be concentrating on the trim controls just below the main knobs. These allow us to drive the optimal amount of signal into each band, and you'll know this is happening when the white LEDs below these trim knobs light up. At this point, you can start mixing the different bands using their individual knobs, and then increase the overall subharmonic value using the master control above. I've turned all these to 0 for now, but we'll increase them once we've adjusted the trims in real time. Now you can see that the white LEDs are lit up nicely, and we've got a healthy amount of signal in each band. We can now turn up the subharmonics master control. You can see that by just using the trim controls correctly and mixing the 3 bands together, we can get some excellent results. In this example, we're treating a drum loop. The real difference here is that I've already dialed in the trims and the right amounts for the 3 different bands. I'm also going to make a few other changes as we get going. In the MS section, I've dialed the mono maker up to about 105 Hz. This means that everything below 105 is going to be summed to mono. I've also increased the stereo width, giving us wider toms and overhead mics. So first of all, I'll play the drum loop back without any processing, and then I'll kick BX Subsynth in so you can hear the transformation. So you can hear real extension to the kick drum, but we can take things a little further. If we dial the tight punch in to about 22 Hz, which is essentially a high-pass filter with a resonant peak, and then boost the low-end parameter, we can get even more extension. If you feel it's a little bit much at this point, we can dial the mix back to about 80%. BX Subsynth isn't just useful for treating instruments and drums, it's also ideal for sculpting low end in sound design and Foley work. Here I'll be processing a stereo sample of some thunder and taking it from something that's reasonably thin in nature to something that's really going to push subwoofers in either a movie soundtrack or some game audio. I've already worked on the trims and the 3 band balances. As you can see, they're all pretty equal. I've balanced the input and output gains, but the real difference here is that the synthesis input is now set to stereo. In mid-mode, the signal is transformed to mid-side processing, and only the mid signal is used to generate subharmonics. In stereo mode, the left and right channel will be fed into a separate synthesis chain, and that's what I've gone for here. We're also using the edge control for the first time here towards the right of the plugin, and we're in smooth mode. Now we've added some squeeze and drive. This should reduce dynamic range, increase perceived volume, and give us some extra attitude. So let's take a listen to the Thunder sample dry, and then I'll kick in this preset that I've built. As you can hear, all these adjustments add up to a much more atmospheric and full-on effect. BX Subsynth is perfect for adding low-end energy to just about anything in your mix, from instruments and drums to synthesizers and effects. It's well worth trying on just about any source. Now, if you want to try some of the things that I've shown you here, or better still, try your own ideas on your own instruments, remember to download the fully functional 14-day trial from the Plugin Alliance website. I hope you've enjoyed checking out BX Subsynth, and I'll catch you next time.